Okay. So, number of questions are very less in geomorphology when it comes to prelims. Okay. So, if you see the first, geomagnetism, right? So, for geomagnetism, conditions are the planet must be rotating faster. Fine. Second, there must be liquid medium inside. And from this liquid medium, conduction must be there. So only when there is conduction in liquid medium, you will normally observe geomagnetism. And what are the benefits of geomagnetism? It protects Earth's atmosphere. Today, Earth's atmosphere is protected by geomagnetism, and whatever you call Aurora Borealis, Australis is associated with geomagnetism, right? And the dust particles from the sun are captured under Van Allen belts. How many Van Allen belts are there? Two, inner and outer, right? So they include dust particles coming from the sun held by geomagnetic field. Fine. Next. Please remember, Aurora Borealis, Aurora Australis is not associated with ionosphere. It is associated with geomagnetic field of the Earth. Aurora is present only near poles. Aurora, is it North Pole, South Pole, or is it geomagnetic North and geomagnetic South? Where do you find? Geomagnetic North, geomagnetic South. Recently, in outer atmosphere, closer to equator also, Aurora was observed, right? So because of that, Aurora is not present only in poles. It can be present wherever the interaction occurs. Fine. Even near equator it was found. Then, next phase. Solar storms when they increase, it will disrupt communications, it will remove atmosphere, satellites will be affected. wise. If we say convection current in asthenosphere, okay, the liquid medium moving in asthenosphere is due to, if they ask you what is the reason for liquid movement, is due to radioactive minerals and what is the second one? Cooling of the earth. Cooling of the earth. Convection current is due to radioactive minerals and cooling of the earth. Then plate tectonics. Everyone, plate. Okay. What is oceanic plate made up of? Silica and magnesium. Continental is made up of, you would have read all this. Continent is made up of what? Silica and aluminium. Which is thicker? Size wise. 35 kilometer. How much is this? 5 kilometer. But which is denser? Oceanic is denser. Continental is lighter. So these are all known. Next. Shall I? Based on the size, plates are divided into major, minor, and nowadays micro. Okay, you have new classification, micro plates as well. Major, 7 are there. North America, South America, Africa, Eurasia, Indo-Australia, Pacific and Antarctic. Recently, Burma, it has a micro plate called Burma plate. Minor, Nazca. Arabian Philippines. This is on the basis of size. Shall I? Everyone, now? Guys, ocean continent convergence is associated with trenches. Yes. They may ask you, trenches are associated with which one? Ocean continent convergence. It is associated with volcano and also fold mountains. Convergent boundary can also lead to fold mountains. Deep earthquakes are found, guys. Where trenches are there, deep earthquakes will be there. Volcano is also eruptive volcano. Divergent boundary will have quiet volcano. Convergent boundary will have eruptive volcano or explosive volcano. Ocean convergence. Again, trenches will be there. Eruptive volcanoes will be there. Islands or ridges will be formed. They're also associated with deep earthquakes. And guys, the moment trenches are there, there is possibility of tsunami. Fine. Next. What do you have? Continent convergence. What do you find? Will you have trenches? Fold mountains? Will you have earthquakes? Volcanoes are also possibility, guys. Himalayas doesn't have, but in other parts you have. Okay, Himalayas doesn't have, but in other parts you have volcanoes. New Zealand has volcano, right? And second, divergent boundary. Continent divergence. Continent divergence. What all will you get? First, you see, you will get upwarping. That means upward folding. After that, you will have joints or cracks. After that, you will have rift valley being formed. The most important mountains associated with divergent boundary is block mountains. There is possibility of linear sea. And then it may form oceans. It will also form mid-oceanic ridges. Mid-oceanic ridges. is, please understand, no trench. Divergent boundary, no trenches. Is there possibility of earthquakes? Shallow earthquakes will be there. Volcanoes are also present. What is divergent boundary called as? Constructive boundaries. Convergent is called as destructive boundaries. Shall I? Ocean divergence. Earthquakes will be there. Volcanoes will be there. Ridges or islands will be there. Transform boundary. Yes. Earthquakes will be there. Remember the term strike, slip, fault. You see here, if at all movement occurs down, movement occurs up, it is called dip, fit, like dip, slip, fault. Horizontal movement is called as strike. So for a slope anywhere where the slope is present, that is called dip. Perpendicular line will be called as strike. Transform boundary is what? Strike, slip. So what is it? Myanmar earthquake is strike, slip, fault. Okay, and it is parallel. Second, you see, whenever it moves above, it's called reverse. When it moves below, it's called normal. Normal fault, reverse fault, strike, slip, fault. Okay, I'll come to the normal and reverse. Whenever the strike, slip, is it horizontal? It may be towards right or it may be towards left. The moment it is to the right, it is called dextral. If it is to the left, it is called sinistral. And guys, Myanmar earthquake was right, that is dextral, strike, slip, fault. Fine. Myanmar's was dextral, strike, slip, fault. Done? Geomorphic process, just terms, if you remember, that's enough, is divided into endogenetic, exogenetic. Guys, please remember, endogenetic is divided on the basis of time. Fine? The moment you see the term time, on the basis of time, it is divided into diastrophic forces, catastrophic forces. Diastrophic will be what? Mountain building, and this slow process is further divided into a pyrogenic, orogenic. A pyrogenic means vertical movement. What is orogenic, guys? Whenever there is horizontal movement, we call it as orogenic. If there is vertical movement, we call it as a pyrogenic. What is the example of a pyrogenic? Submergence, emergence. Submergence and emergence comes under a pyrogenic. Which coast of India is submerged coast? Entire west coast. Which one? Konkan coast. Only coast which is submerged of India is which one? Konkan coast. Gujarat is emerged coast. Kerala, Malabar coast is emerged coast. Only coast submerged is Konkan coast. When we say horizontal movement, we talk about two things. One is fold, another one is fault. Exogenetic, 3 words. Weathering, mass movement, erosion. Fine. So, is fault. I have normal fault. What is normal fault? Downward movement. Downward movement. And this is observed in divergent boundary. Rift Valley is an example. In India, can you name a fault? What separates peninsular plateau, Chota Nagpur plateau from northeastern plateau? Malda fault. Okay, Malda fault. Normal, reverse is upward, it is convergent boundary. Himalayas is reverse fault. Himalayas is also reverse fault. What is the third? Strike slip, which is divided into right side is dextral, left side is sinistral, associated with transform boundary. These words you should remember this. Okay, then is this here little bit slowly but in detail we should study about earthquakes. First, the place where energy is released is known as focus or hypocenter. Second, the place where energy reaches first near the surface is called as what? Epicenter. Third, the waves which come out is divided into body waves, surface waves. Body waves are divided into P waves, S waves. Primary waves, right? Okay. These primary waves are similar to longitudinal waves. Example of longitudinal waves, sound waves. The particles move like compression and rarefaction. Compression and rarefaction. This line is very important. Particles vibrate. How? Parallel or perpendicular? Parallel. This was last year question, and that was because of Turkey earthquake. Okay, now you have a lot of earthquakes, right? Particles vibrate parallel. They can travel through solids, liquids and gases. S waves are similar to transverse waves. It is similar to ripples in water. They normally move like crest and trough. Particles vibrate perpendicular to wave motion. They can travel only through solids. Then guys, both P waves and S waves, if we take body waves, density increases, speed increases. Density decreases, speed decreases. What are the two surface waves you have? Rayleigh waves mostly elliptical, zigzag. Myanmar had how much? 7.9, right? It was mostly zigzag. The surface waves were so powerful it hit Bangkok as well, right? Kolkata shook. Okay, because of this there was shake in Kolkata as well. Okay, surface waves impact reduces from the epicenter outwards, right? Surface waves impact reduces from epicenter outwards, and on the basis of that itself we make zones. Zone 1, zone 2, when you say, that is on the basis of that itself. See guys, about earthquakes, another important thing is P waves and S waves. If you think shadow zone, right? Shadow zones. Whose shadow zone is more and whose shadow zone is less? S waves is more, P waves will be less. What is the reason? Because S waves travel only through solids. P waves travel through solids and liquids. Done? Okay. Now, causes of earthquakes can be asked. What are the causes? Can it be due to tectonic movement? Yes. Anything more? Tectonic movement, then volcanic eruptions. Landslides. Mining. Removal of underground water. Dams. Large dams or smaller dams? Large dams. Okay, done. Volcanoes. Volcanoes are vent or openings through which solids, liquids, gases will come. What is the solid that comes out from the volcano? That is liquid, no? Tephra, right? Tephra is solid rocks that come from the volcano. Liquid is lava. This lava is divided into acidic lava, basic lava. Gases, 90% of it will be water vapours. And then you will have sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ammonia. Fine. Ashes are dust particles that come, are mostly known as pyroclastic materials. Sorry. Done? Lava, you tell this. Lava, acidic, basic, on the basis of what? It will have what? More silica. The moment you have more silica, it will become acidic. If it is less silica, it will be basic. And remember, very less silica, ultra basic. Okay, ultra basic is very less silica. So the moment you have silica, silica solidifies easily. It is viscous, right? Here it is less viscous. So acidic leads to quick solidification and cone formation. It will be slow solidification and it would lead to flood basalt. Associated with convergent boundary. See, explosive volcanoes are associated with this. Here, mostly associated with Divergent boundary. As it is associated with convergent boundary, leads to explosiveness. Explosion is more. Which is India's volcano? Deccan Plateau is formed due to which one? Basic. Flood basalt. Yes. If silica content is more, light color. If silica content is less, it will become dark color. Black soil. Fine. Next. On the basis of this, you'll have rocks. First is which one? Igneous rocks are called as? Why? They were the first formed from cooling of lava. Cooling of magma. Igneous, will it have fossil? No fossils. Igneous will not have fossils. Igneous will not have layers. Layers are also not present. Except basalt, other igneous rocks, no chemical weathering. Fine. Basalt undergoes chemical weathering. Granite doesn't undergo chemical weathering. That is the reason it's used in kitchen. Right? No chemical weathering. It is divided into intrusive and extrusive. Intrusive, inside, as it is cooling inside, granular size is more. Fine. And example, please remember carefully, example is granite. And granite is example of continental crust. Okay, basalt is example of oceanic crust. Ocean is mostly made up of basalt, whereas this is mostly made up of granite. Extrusive is formed outside. This is coarse grain. This will be fine grain. Example for this is basalt. Granite and basalt are examples of igneous rocks. Fine. Yes. Extrusive are divided on the basis of silica content. Again, extrusive is on the basis of silica content. Acidic, basic, ultra basic. Fine. Extrusive is divided into acidic, basic, ultra basic, whereas intrusive is on the basis of shape. Deep inside the earth, if something is formed, it is called as batholith. Horizontal to the bedding plane will be called as sill. Perpendicular to it is known as dike. Can you try? Yeah, what is the name called? Sinus as well. If it is sinus, you call it as yes. Then yes. Yes. Sedimentary rocks can be due to deposition or due to chemically precipitated. Mostly the deposition occurs in water bodies. When the deposition occurs in water bodies, some processes are involved. First, it has to be transported. Second, deposition. We call sedimentation. Compaction. What is the process you have? Cementation. And these will have layers. The fundamental thing in deposition, and in these layers, fossils are also there. Chemically precipitated is formed due to evaporation. Examples of this is, please remember this, limestone, dolomite, chert, evaporite. In one prelims they asked, what is evaporite? Okay, evaporite is a type of sedimentary rock. When you have these, mudstone, claystone, sandstone, the most important one is shale. Done? How is metamorphic formed? What are the conditions to form metamorphic? What are the two conditions? Heat and pressure. Heat is thermal, pressure is dynamic. Thermal is associated with volcanoes. Dynamic is associated with tectonic movement. Marble, quartzite, fine. Then yes. Interior of the earth. First, what all are the direct evidences? Direct evidences. What all comes? Volcano. Earthquakes are indirect. Seismic waves are indirect. Volcanoes are direct. Then mining. Mining, as we go deeper, we get to know mining. Then, as we go deeper, temperature increases. Temperature variation is also considered as what? Direct. Indirect. Meteors come under indirect. Gravitational force comes under indirect. Gravitational force is minimum near equator, maximum near poles. That is due to geoid shape of the earth. Third, geomagnetic field. That also helps us in understanding Earth's interior. Fourth is seismic waves. Right? Direct, indirect evidences. See, once 11th standard NCERT when you take, just check these classifications. Like, direct, indirect, intrusive example, catastrophe, diastrophe. Like, examples, whatever they have given, just that. Don't get into the lines. Classification, same only you have to do. See, people who make question paper, whether it is right or wrong, they pick it from NCERT. When they pick from NCERT, they just give the statement. You can't put logic and tell yes or no. If you lose, you will get key only after 1 year. It's of no use. Knowing UPSC has done mistake is no use. We should just do what is given in the NCERT. Okay. So, what will you find first? 35? 0 to 5. What is this? Continental crust. Here, oceanic crust. Guys, till 100 kilometer, this area is upper solid mantle. 4 times they have asked, what is lithosphere? What is lithosphere? Crust and upper solid mantle is called as lithosphere. Fine. And then till 600 kilometers, semi-solid layer called as what? Asthenosphere. Can you try? 2,900 kilometer lower solid mantle, 5,100 kilometer, which core? Outer core, and then you will have inner core. What is this called as, guys? Asthenosphere and lower solid mantle, pyrosphere or mesosphere. Fine. Below this is called as what? Barysphere. Names. Barysphere. Crust and mantle is moho discontinuity. Mantle and core is, try. Gutenberg discontinuity. What is the discontinuity between outer core and inner core? Between upper mantle and lower mantle? Fine. Upper crust and lower crust? Conrad discontinuity. Fine. You ask them the timing tomorrow, it will be in the morning mostly. Fine. And we'll see ocean currents, exogenetic movements will do. Fine. Just talk to them. You want afternoon till 5, it's not possible. After that, morning, not possible. Which time? It will be from 7 to 10 or something. 7 to 10.